Okay. Oh, hey, Tony. Joined us? Can you hear us? Okay. We can't hear you, so I guess you don't have a mic, so you'll be chatting.
Hello?
Hello? Okay. Now we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me? I just remembered I unmuted it.
Okay. Perfect. Yep.
That's as loud as it can be.
I think you have the volume turned up to max.
Okay.
I'll check. Hang on. No, you have them like at 98%.
Hello.
Okay.
But I'll turn it to 100.
Okay. Sounds good. Cool. Oh, now we can see you. Excellent.
Yay. Hello.
Hey.
Oh.
Welcome.
All right. So the first thing after we do, so we started with a brief meditation. Now the first thing we do after that in the board meeting in the agenda is to just check in and see how everyone is doing and introduce ourselves if we have not, for people who might not know us. You want to lead off?
Sure. I'm Agnes. Hi, Peter. Hi, Doni. Nice to see you. And I'm the secretary. That's why I get a computer that I can hide behind. I'm doing okay. I kind of had like a rough morning, and I went to a doctor's appointment. And my back is feeling better, but I was stuck in like bumper to bumper traffic for a little bit. Then I just got back late, so a little frazzled. But I'm doing okay, and I'm glad we're having a board meeting because we haven't had one last month, so it's good.
Cool.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you for that. And I believe all of you know me, Gleb, president of Intentional Insights. I'm doing pretty alright. I had good sleep today, which is good. I haven't had good sleep for a bit of time. And yeah, high energy. Just had some nice snacks of raspberries from the back there, which is fun. So, doing pretty alright.
I am Serena, and still really horrible in front of cameras. Just got off work, and not quite switched over into board meeting mode yet. I'll get there. I'm done.
So, for the people on camera, Doni, our incoming volunteer intern, do you want to introduce yourself?
Tony, not Tony. That's my name. I'm gonna have a pretty good day today. I checked out my local working space. I might not working there. Yeah, I love rationality and effective altruism.
Cool. Thank you. And Pete, on to you.
All right, I'm Peter Livingstone. I guess all of you know me, maybe except for Donnie, mostly, but I've been involved with Intentional Insights just earlier this year, contributing a little bit and just kind of coming up to speed on fairly new to effective altruism and rationality. And just lately, this past month or so has been kind of a crazy month for me. A lot of traveling and just not any kind of normal schedule. Not always at home. Sometimes even out in the mountains, out of cell phone coverage. So just kind of off the grid for a little bit too. But anyway, it's been a good month. Got to spend it with family and friends and traveling, but back home now.
Cool. All right. Good. We're just checking. Now let's go on to the agenda. So the first part of the agenda is the engagement report, where we talk about the public activities as we did. And Agnes, who's our board secretary, has the little bit of a template that we use to guide us. So she will use the template to prompt us into what points to discuss.
Sure. And this is the external portion of our meeting, and then we're going to turn off and kind of finish off with all of the a few other parts of the meeting. So
Yeah, so
we-
mainly the one that we talk about behind, not here is stuff about finances, mention donors' names, so it's confidential information.
So we start with basically we're going to talk about the engagement and about programming. And the first thing about engagement and the insiders.
Sure. So Agnes will prompt us, and I will take the point on most of the discussions. So with the insiders, what we talk about in this section is the kind of things we've been doing to help build up the community. And so I think all 5 people here are on the cello, which is the core insiders venue where we communicate about various forms of activities with each other. And of course, Facebook is a more broad venue where there's a few hundred people who are engaged insiders, engaged in various degrees in activities. We have the newsletter, kind of, for insiders that I send out every couple of weeks. And so those are things that we've been doing. We're also going to soon launch, we're in the starting process of launching a informal coaching project to help insiders coach each other. So those things have been going, I think, fairly well. And I'm pleased with the engagement there. In a few weeks, we'll have a stakeholders meeting for insiders sometime probably in early November, something like that. So that's something that's coming up on the river. Any questions or comments about the insiders community? Next point.
Next point is the website.
You've been handling that. You want
Sure.
to?
So our website, I don't. So we can talk about like visits to our website, and I don't have that.
No,
we don't need to.
we don't
Okay.
need.
So, as many of you know, over the past months, basically since the beginning of the year, we've solicited a lot of feedback from our stakeholders and insiders and volunteers and donors, and a lot of people have been commenting on the difficulties and challenges with our website and how it's not the best way to engage for our audience to engage with us. And we've been trying different things, and the thing we're working on right now is actually we're building a brand new website. So that's something we've been hoping for a long time, and we were anticipating that it would cost a lot of money. Unfortunately, a volunteer has stepped up, so it's just costing us a lot of time. So money and like our time, and a volunteer is generously offering her time. She's here in Columbus, and that is something we're starting to work on, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have a brand new website that will be, I'm just going to humbly say, completely amazing compared especially to what we have now. And it will be a WordPress website that will be easy to manage. It will be open source as opposed to our current website, which is closed source and can only be changed by someone with knowledge of PHP, which is, I hear, is not very popular. I don't know it, and we have a shortage of people who know it. So we haven't made any updates to our website in a couple of months because we knew that this new one would be built. And so that's kind of the biggest news. And so that's why we've taken the feedback that people have given to us as early as this spring and also at the stakeholder meeting in June and on different Facebook comments. And one of our volunteers, Michael Estes, put that all together. And Gleb and I are going to start meeting with, we had the initial discussion of the website with a designer. And so I'll be posting more stuff on the Facebook group to kind of, we have a few more questions for the community. And so that's going to be super exciting.
Woo!
Woo!
Okay. Questions about that?
What plans do you have for the website? Like, what do you, what's going to be different? Like, what?
So it's going to be much more graphically oriented, so much more visual, and it's going to have different. It's going to be engaging, so quite a bit more engagement will be built into the format of the website. There will also be categories, so people can easily access the articles by category. There will also be a separate news press release room that people can go to for various activities relating to the nonprofit and press releases. Anything else that I missed?
Well, mainly it will be more like an industry standard layout. When we met, it will not just be like all text. Like when you hover over things, some of the things will kind of come alive, so it will look a little more engaging. Images will be much bigger, many more images, much less text on the homepage. And yeah, the categories is one big improvement over what we have now, because we have like topics right now at the top, and then it says find your purpose, and we have nothing else. And of course, it looks silly to just have one. But that's because it had to be custom built into a static page, and don't know enough time for that, but just saying. And so it will be automatic, so we will have to come up with about 7 topics, 7 categories that will be easily accessible, so we can have find your purpose, then we can have give effectively, we can have be mentally strong, we can have reach your goals, whatever, and that will help people go. Another big thing that we're going to change that we had some feedback on from folks like you is that when people get to the homepage, they don't really know what Intentional Insights does, or like why they should stick around. They just see whatever the latest blog is. And so now we will like have a big fat words that say, you know, improve your life, be happy, or whatever. We're going to come up with it, and like a picture of some happy people, so that if the most recent blog is not exciting to someone, they would still be hopefully enticed to stay around. Just to add to what Gleb said, does that answer your question?
I think so. I was also wondering, I think you're testing out an app for like planning fallacy. Are you planning on having like integration with the website, or like find some kind of?
Well, the Find Your Purpose app, we're not yet in the planning stages of the planning fallacy.
Yeah,
We have the Find Your Purpose app, which is separate from the website. So I'm not. That's a good question, which we'll decide on later down the road if there will be some integration into the website of that stuff. So we, as part of the website launch, we will have a separate member category, and for people who are monthly donors, and that might be a venue where we can integrate apps easily, but we haven't kind of done that sort of tactical evaluation yet. Good question.
Yeah, well, Gleb was saying that we will have an easy way in this website to be able to like have things available to people who pay, or to people who are members, or however we want to do it, or to special volunteers. So we'll have like different levels of access, so that we can still decide how we want to use that, which we don't have on our current site at all.
Will the new website be fairly easy to modify? Like, I think I kind of heard that from you. Say, for example, that somebody would decide to change the logo, and the new website, will that facilitate changing the logo easily? And
Yes, that's the goal. That's why we're getting the new website. We should be able to change many things very easily in the site.
It'll be also very easy to make various modifications to test what will be optimal for the audience engagement. So we'll be able to do what's called A/B testing easily. So compare one style of homepage to another, see what works better for the audience, because things will be very easy to test. They will be easy to change and therefore easy to test.
Yeah.
Other questions?
No.
All right.
Next is social media.
I don't think we have anything new there.
Newsletter.
newsletter
Can we
includes.
say marketing and
Sure.
Sorry.
No problem. Well, essentially, the thing with the newsletter is that we'll be sending one out shortly within the next 2
In
days.
the next week.
Yeah, next week.
We went for a number of months without a newsletter, unfortunately, and I'm sorry. Because I'm in charge of the newsletter and different things came up and it was kind of always pushed back, which is really not the best way to have our folks engaged. We have about 1,600 names on the newsletter list and some proportion of them open it. And so most of those people are not very engaged, but you guys are also, everyone in this room on this call is also on the newsletter list. And so now we're going to try to do one at least once a month. And so I've gotten some help from our one of the contractors that we're working with. And so that's going to be more on track.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, and the next is marketing.
Let's salient there. But I think there's not too much stuff salient in marketing. We haven't done recent marketing stuff. This might be a good time to bring up orientation. So, I think everyone in the room has heard about the controversy with some folks in the AA movement criticizing our broad outreach and the broad audience. So we have decided to do some distancing from the AA movement central venues to not be so, let's say, to not trigger those sorts of people who are critical of us. And as part of it, to decrease some of our engagement with creating content for the EA forum and so on. And instead of that, we will be orienting more of our efforts to creating content for the self-improvement market and including paid content as well as free content. And what our goal is to take people who are already into self-improvement and who would want to engage with intentional insights content because it helps them be more rational and reach their goals more effectively. Now, as they engage with this content for their own motivations, for their personal motivations, because it helps them have a better life, it would impact their thinking about other areas of society and make better decisions about their charitable giving, make better decisions about their voting, about their financial engagement, so financial literacy, and all sorts of things that they may not necessarily think about when they start engaging with our content. So that's a strategic reorientation of a bit in our marketing and outreach efforts. Questions, thoughts?
I had a comment. This self-help is actually a really good way to tie into people who come from more of a psychological background, like the folks who practice CBT.
Yeah.
A lot of the variations of CBT, etc. And as we switch to the self-help movement, it occurs to me that we could do we could hit two birds with one stone here. One of the feedbacks that we got from the survey that we sent out was that there wasn't enough of engagement, like it's an article and here's a thing to do and that's it. So it would be an excellent opportunity for us to collect members who would be able to contribute techniques that we can say, okay, well, we can modify this technique and we can apply it here. I know there are a lot of techniques within CBT itself that can be applied within rationality. That's it.
Do you mean attract members like people or like Capper trained?
People who have experience within CBT, like people who have been in therapy, or people who are therapists, or people who just decide that they're like, I'm not happy with my life. I'm gonna go read about psychology and figure out why, and then do it yourself.
So then we can potentially have like an article and then a tip sheet
Mhm.
associated with it, or like these are some strategies that you can apply, and the tip sheet can be potentially in exchange for an email or a small amount of money that would be earned revenue. That is that the kind of thing that you're thinking about?
Are you saying for people to involve them as volunteers?
More for people to be involved as volunteers, and more for to catch people's attention and keep them there. Now, instead of just an article, we have, okay, well, try this at home. If you're, for example, if you're experiencing extreme anxiety, try mindfulness meditation in this form. Go for a walk, examine all of the leaves, feel the wind, feel the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be now they can take this thing that they read online and they can take it into their lives, and they can get more engaged.
We generally already do that, some of that in our articles. So it
I've
sounds like
noticed some of it.
So you're saying, so I think we're kind of aligned with like creating like tip sheets and so on for people to use it. And those tip sheets can also be like, they can be created, they can be a source of revenue, they can be a source of engagement for getting people's emails. Cool. Okay, that sounds good. Others, Pete, Tony, any comments on that general idea?
Yeah, I guess would you say that NN would not really be considered an EA meta charity at this point, or?
No, we certainly are an EA meta charity. And
Okay.
we promote effective giving broadly. We would just do less activities that would try to how do I say this? Influence the EA movement itself. So this would include things like writing articles for the EA forum about how to do more effective marketing. We will still do some of that, but to a lesser extent, because people are right now triggered around intentional insights.
Yeah.
There's the personalization of hostility associated with intentional insights. So we want to decrease some of our visibility in central EA forums while still doing effective altruism. We're still an effective altruist meta charity.
Yeah.
So focusing more on promoting effective giving to a broad audience. So within that venue, one of the things we'll be doing is after we finish building out the Intentional Insights new website, we'll start building out a new website called givingeffectively.org, which we recently acquired. And givingeffectively.org, we plan to make it a central venue for giving effectively content, which will be promoting effective giving strategies for a broad audience, not the kind of intellectual audience that would be targeted by the EA movement itself in order to join the EA.
Then I was also wondering and really kind of concerned in the last month or so when this controversy really kind of came to head with the EA movement. What kind of an impact did that have on Intentional Insights? Did that hurt donations? Did we lose members or anything?
Yeah, great question. We did lose a few donors who chose not to donate because of that.
These current donors or potential donors?
Both.
Okay, we lost current donors.
We lost Bren. We lost. Yeah, we shouldn't say.
Okay.
We shouldn't say.
Okay.
Yes.
So we lost like pledges. People
Yes.
who pledged.
Yes. And people who were donors who indicated they would donate, but pledged.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And also, there's some uncertainty because I believe when we were in San Francisco for EA Global, Blood Cultivated had personal meeting with 2 or 3 donors who pledged 4-figure gifts, and now we don't know if any of them will come through.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have like at least 1 or 2 people say that around in the winter, at the point that in December they would consider gifts, and now
Right. Now,
So that's one thing that we don't have.
yes. So these are things that are quite unfortunate, and which is one of the reasons that we are orienting, more toward figuring out earned revenue sources and trying to make sure that there's various ways that intentional insights can be sustainable going forward financially.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Good question.
Anytime. Good question. Absolutely.
I guess kind of along that thought, I kind of feel like what intentional insights product is, what is the ultimate goal for the prospect?
For the product, I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. You're not sure what.
I don't know, okay, so for instance, the Center for Applied Rationality, they have like a workshop or whatever. That's kind of like their end goal, is to have some good workshop. So I'm curious, like, what is intentional insights? Or what is one potential?
So there are two. Okay, so within the nonprofit sector, there are two kind of things that we think about in terms of product. There's output and there's outcome. So output are the tangible things that are produced by the work of a nonprofit. So with the Center for Applied Rationality, you would see a workshop as a tangible output. Now the outcome that the Center for Applied Rationality desires is for people to improve their rationality. They can, if they didn't have that workshop, they would have other ways for people to improve their rationality. And their goal is to target elite individuals and improve their rationality substantially. The goal of intentional insights is to target the broad audience and improve them in being more rational on a whole variety of categories, with a special emphasis on effective giving, but on a whole variety of categories. So the kind of things that intentional insights puts out is products, our interventions, the content, the output is the content that moves people higher on the level of being more rational. So raising the center to one line, in other words. So our goal is to have these articles that we create, the videos that we create, and various other contents, apps, books, reach a wide audience, as wide as possible, in order to improve their ability to be rational in some way. So I'll give you an example. So the Salon article that we published on basic income is one example. It was very widely shared. You can see the social media on the Salon website. It was really broadly shared in various social media. It talked about basic income and Give Directly, which was one of the top GiveWell charities. So it promoted effective giving that way. It also demonstrated through the article itself an example of updating beliefs, how one can update one's beliefs based on evidence. So modeling the strategy of updating beliefs based on evidence, which is a rational thinking strategy.
4,000 shares, over 4,000 shares. They're shared on Facebook over 4,000 times.
Right. So sometimes that number, I'm not sure if it's shared on Facebook 4,000 times or 4,000 Facebook engagements, because that says share on Facebook and 4,000 times. But anyway, however much it is, it's a lot. We had like previous articles on Salon that had something like 100 or 200 on that number of the Facebook share. This had 4,000 on that number of Facebook share. So, yeah, very wide. And so our goal is to get these articles out there and get people to, if somebody engages with that article, the outcome would be that they would be more oriented toward effective giving and more oriented toward updating beliefs than they would be otherwise. Now, our hope is that of those people, of the total amount of people who engage with an article, a proportion of them will then go be interested in more rational thinking and say, this is interesting stuff. Let me go and check out GiveWell or the life you can save, or give directly, or intentional insights. And if they go to intentional insights, they would get more and more articles about rational thinking.
So
And
the other articles. So your goal would be to someone read your Salon article, then they come on your website and they read the other articles.
Mhm.
That's your core article.
right, that's the output. The outcome of them reading the other articles. So we need to differentiate the output and the outcome. The output would be them reading other articles, engaging with our videos, engaging with our books, engaging with our apps, engaging with the community of intentional insights insiders, and so on. That's the output. The outcome would be them gaining more rational thinking skills, applying these skills in their daily life, applying these skills in their charitable decision making, in their political decision making, in their economic decision making, and everywhere else. So the goal for us is the outcome. The output is how we try to reach those goals. Does that clarify things?
I guess my concern was more like a dilution, like the output not attracting enough.
Output not. Can you repeat that so I can clarify that?
Like I don't know, like casting a wide net, rather like quantity versus quality. Does that make sense? Like the trade-off there. I guess.
What trade-off are you getting at? Clarify what you mean by the trade-off.
Like someone might read a Salon article, they might gain like maybe a bit, maybe like 10% gain a bit of a rationality skill, and then boy, they kind of just drop off there and you might forget about it instead of like engaging.
Yeah.
Like what? Like that's part of it, I guess.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
I'm totally happy for all the readers of the article in Salon to improve their rationality 10%. That would be an awesome outcome. And
There will always be some people who engage a little more.
yes, so it's kind of there's what's so to get a little bit more complex in it. There's what's called the nonprofit purchase funnel, and the people at the very top. So it's kind of narrow shaped. It's wide and then goes narrow. So the people at the top will just engage a little bit and they'll get a little bit of benefit. And then more people, a smaller proportion of them engage more, and then a smaller proportion engage more, a smaller proportion engage more. And it's great that the people at the top get a little benefit. That's great. 10%, 10% rationality improvement times, I don't know, however many people read this article. Like we reach hundreds of thousands of people with our articles. So however many, that's a huge improvement overall. Now, this group will have more improvement per person, per capita, and this group will have more improvement. So the more people engage with us, the more improvement they have. But our mission and our goal is to give them improvement at this level, and at this level, and at this level. So at each level for people to improve.
So, you said you were going to talk about social media, or
Okay, yeah. So no other questions on this?
And if there are questions later, we can always talk later, and we can always talk on the phone or chat later.
Mhm.
So come up with questions later.
Yep.
For now.
I wanted to clarify.
Sure.
Donnie, were you asking about the? I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure how to phrase this question. Were you asking about the marketable, profitable output versus like just for free, or were you asking about just in general?
I thought like like what is the end of the purchase funnel? Like what's the ultimate product? An output that like I don't know that so for instance we're talking about funding finding ways of income, maybe a course or product that would generate income and would
Right. Okay.
have like a quality like education.
So your question was specifically regarding income generating revenue products.
That could relate to it. Like,
Okay, that could relate. So it sounds like I answered most of the question that you wanted. Like, what would be at the top of the or at the bottom of the here? Sure.
the bottom.
Sure. So for different categories, there would be different things. So for example, for people, one thing that we definitely want to hit is the question of meaning and purpose in life, and that relates to one's ultimate long-term goals. We already have that program. We already have the book on Find Your Purpose Using Science, and an app associated with that. And I'm also working on a longer version book of that currently. We're right now developing a product within the intentional thinking category about how to, a book about that. It will be something that that will be within the earned revenue team category. Kind of. So that would be about how people can have the most clear beliefs and appropriate expectations about reality. We'll also be doing other stuff relating to decision making, goal achievement, mental health, emotional well being. So basically, at the bottom of the ladder of the purchase funnel, there will be a number of solid pieces of content that people can use to guide their everyday life. Yeah.
Because right now we have a variety of solid content, and being a nonprofit, like if we were a for-profit, like we try to sell it all, but being a nonprofit, we offer this content to try to reach our mission, and then we have a separate way to get revenue from donations that we're trying to get. And then as a nonprofit, we're also able to sell things. And so right now we're trying to come up with some additional things to sell for people who are willing to pay, but whether or not they sell, we will still always provide free content to improve rationality and effective giving for everyone. And hopefully the more creative and well-marketed things that we can sell, that will increase our financial sustainability. And so some of this is even repackaging. For example, we can have a bunch of blogs about mental health, and then we can put them in an ebook, add a few chapters, and there's a book that people would buy, and it's widely done by writers right now and bloggers. So that's kind of the thing to make more money. We can also have online courses paid, or we can have online courses free. But the thing is that the funnel of getting people to be more rational, whether or not people are paying for it, we're reaching our goal as an organization. And we want to separately reach our goal of making money. And right now we're like way behind on that, like way behind. But like, we started at zero. So earned revenue is one way to have more income. So they're kind of like not one and the same, I think.
Does that clarify things for you, Donnie?
Sufficient.
I'm sorry?
Sufficient.
Okay.
Excellent. And you can always follow up, chat and
Marginally invest more.
cool. No problem. All right. Going onward.
So we talked about marketing, other engagement, earned revenue. I'm not sure where we are. The things we still programming report, collaborations with other groups, such as effective altruism community, where we already kind of covered that. Unitarian Universalist, secular and self-improvement markets.
Right. So with the UU market, we are trying to apply for a grant from the organization to promote giving games to the UU audience. So that's kind of the current stage there. So focusing on that. With the secular market, we are working we're focusing right now on getting more engagement with the International Humanist Ethical Union, which is basically unites humanist groups around the world, and getting them to host giving games and also adapt some of our content, use our content on their websites, both on rational thinking and effective giving, but focusing more on effective giving right now. So giving games. With the self-improvement market, we just talked that through how we're going to be more oriented toward them and creating this book We'll also have a call tomorrow with the team of people who are working on the earned revenue, and we'll talk about that. Call will involve more conversations about the self-improvement market. Pete is the leader of the team. Pete, do you want to give any brief comments about that call coming up?
Sure. And this is probably mainly for Donnie because I think everybody else is pretty familiar with it. But just over the past, I guess, about a month or so, we've had a small group of people just submitting ideas, kind of brainstorming ideas for different forms of content or different activities or partnerships to increase revenue for Union, just for its long-term, mainly long-term viability and growth. And we're still kind of early in the process, but we have somewhere in the neighborhood of a dozen ideas or so that we just need to kind of prioritize, see how much of an impact they may have, how easy or difficult they'd be to implement, and just prioritize like that and start making things, start carrying some of these ideas out to increase the revenue coming in.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool. Oh, one thing I forgot to add about the effective altruism market. So we are oriented, as I mentioned, to promoting effective giving to a broad audience. So some of the things we're doing there, we have recently come up with several bumper stickers promoting effective giving in various ways, and we're going to be posting those on various venues. And we're also in the final stages of creating a very brief explainer video, an animated video that explains effective giving a number of organizations involved. And that has been done through a collaboration of in-kind donations from a corporation and a generous donation from a donor who enabled the creation of this video. So I forgot to mention that about the effective altruism market. Okay, questions on any of those?
I think everybody's good.
Okay, let's see if there's anything else. A couple more things. No, we're almost done. There's anything about the blog? What?
Yeah, I was saying we should give people 5 seconds for the introverted
Give them
ones.
more time.
Yep.
Okay.
5 seconds for introverted ones is a good base number. So blog, yeah, we're doing pretty well. We actually have new writers writing more pieces for the blog right now. Pete will be here. We'll be thinking about a new piece to write in the near future. Hunter has been publishing some pieces. We've also have some other people publishing pieces. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's publishing pieces anymore. Really nice to get some diversity in public. So I'm very happy about that. And Agnes will be creating some
Videos is the next topic.
video blogs.
I actually tested yesterday on my Facebook. I decided to do a fundraiser because my birthday is next Tuesday. So I don't know, did you see it, Serena?
I don't have internet access.
I actually stood on the sofa and Gleb recorded me, but the only people who were in our house know that I was standing on the sofa because the artwork was right behind me. So I just said, like, hey, if you donate to Intentional Insight, I'll make a video and thank you. And if you donate monthly, I'll do like a personal video. And they will maybe make a funny accent, like maybe you're drunk or maybe you're not drunk, you still like it. I don't know, my Russian accent. So that was good practice. Then I was so anxious I had to like lay down for the rest of the day, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll just, I'm going to work it out. So that's kind of, writing is pretty difficult for me, but it's much easier for me to be on camera. Anxiety notwithstanding. So I look forward to making some videos, maybe using this funny accent. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully people will watch it if they are just watching for me to be like silly. Hopefully it's funny. And I also hope to make some more serious videos about my experience with mental illness and make those also into blogs. And I don't know. We just got some equipment that we ordered. We bought a special lapel microphone. We bought a black backdrop, so no longer need to see the back of Gleb's office. And we're going to set up some extra lamps with high power lights, and hopefully we don't need to buy any extra lighting. And so we will hopefully have better quality videos. We're still recording on a smartphone with HD, so hopefully our videos will be better.
And also wanted to mention that Doni here, our incoming volunteer intern, will be working on helping us with video editing and creating a new intro and so on. So he has a video editing skills. Doni, anything you wish to comment on the videos?
On what?
Anything
You
you
wish to comment on them?
on the videos that you'll be helping us with your video editing skills?
I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, and I guess we didn't mention, but people know from Facebook that we are also working on a new logo.
Yep.
And we're kind of trying to get that done before we do the website. So hopefully the new logo will be more aligned with our brand identity, and will also help improve things. And that's also the service is donated by the same woman who's doing our website. So she's public, Morgan Landis, very generous.
Okay. Questions about any of this before we go on?
Well, I guess regarding the videos, I do think we need a lot more engagement.
One more what?
Engagement.
Yep. Oh, agreed.
What kind? Like people engaging with the videos?
I guess what is the persona that we're trying to reach?
We're trying to reach people mainly, it depends on the videos, but with the brief engaging videos that we're going to try to do, we're going to reach personas in the self-help market, people who usually want to watch people like Tony Robbins and so on, like people who make, Tony Robbins has like hundreds of thousands of views on each video. So we're hoping to get a small proportion of those at least starting up. Right now we have in the, high dozens for the videos that we produce, which is like not bad starting from where we are. But we definitely want quite a bit more. Cool.
Yeah, I have a question. Speaking of videos, just sort of on a related topic, has anybody considered or brought up the topic of maybe doing an occasional podcast?
A what?
Podcast in addition to videos?
Sure. So we are actually right now exploring the podcast. We've recently gotten a signed up to Spreaker, which is a podcasting service company, and we're exploring how to do podcasts. I actually have a phone call, not phone call, but I'm talking to people in the secular movement who I know who do podcasts about the best ways of doing podcasts. One of the reasons we got a microphone is to be able to do podcasts. And the first thing that we'll do is take some of our existing video interviews with people and remake them into podcasts. So just take the audio file, remake it into podcasts, and make more podcasts in the future. So we definitely plan to do more podcasts.
Okay.
Or we plan to do podcasts. They're just apparently somewhat more complex than videos to do because you have to get a paid service to do podcasts. You can't just put them on like a YouTube or something. There's no service like that, so you have to have a separate thing.
All right. That does seem kind of counterintuitive that podcast is a little more difficult to pull off.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was surprised when I started investigating this as well. But yeah, it's more complex.
And so publications, so I mean, anyway, any other publications or any other content or programs, and then that will be kind of the end of the public portion of that.
Well, publications, I mean, we had a number of publications. We had a publication in Salon on identity, weird identity, and reframing your identity as it was timed to 9/11. So being a weird American on 9/11. We had that publication in Salon that I mentioned on the on basic income that was really widely shared and had a lot of popularity. And let's see, I had an interview, we had our first live radio interview on Monday morning about a African American kid who was shot here in Columbus by some cops. And so that was, we were commenting about racial profiling, how to address racial profiling. So this is just a range of recent publications. Oh, we also have.
You're scheduled something next week.
Yes, I have a scheduled commentary on the upcoming debate next week, on the first debate next week. I have a radio commentary interview. We have some of the volunteers who we have, some, not only myself, but Hunter Glenn, who's one of the volunteers. He published a couple of pieces with a prominent that came through the Intentional Insights review process. They were published on Psychology Today and on Dumb Little Man, which is a very popular self-improvement venue, and several other places. So we have people who are besides me who are engaging with a broad audience and publishing there, who come from Intentional Insights and were trained up through our venues. Questions on publications?
How long 5 seconds is?
Count 5 Mississippi.
No question.
There you go.
Nice job.
Thanks. I can count.
It's very rational of you.
I know.
Thanks. Self-improvement, you know.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Any other things for the engagement program?
No.
Okay. Time for any broad questions about engagement or programming that any board members or any guests to the board meeting have.
I am good.
Donnie or Pete, any questions?
Nothing more.
So we kind of skipped over social media.
I can't hear.
Yeah.
We kind of skipped over social media. It felt like Facebook, Twitter.
It's very observant, very perceptive.
Yeah. So just said that there's no kind of new.
But maybe Donnie was not here on other meetings. Maybe
Okay.
is that maybe he doesn't know what he's skipping over.
Sure. So the things that just kind of.
Well, I might, but I thought we should go over that maybe.
No, on the last meeting, we just gave some numbers on the number of people on the social media. So we have something like 12,000. We have 2 Twitter accounts, the Intentional Insights official one and my personal one. The Intentional Insights account has something like 12,000 followers. My personal account has a little bit less. The Facebook for Intentional Insights has nearly 6,000 people. My personal Facebook page, Dr. Grexowski, has something like 4,300. And we have something like 375 people in an Intentional Insights Insiders group. We have around 7,000 followers on Pinterest.
7,000.
Yes.
Wow.
And we
That's
have.
a lot of people pinning.
Yes.
Exploded.
Yes.
And that's really great because it's mostly women.
Yes. So we're reaching
Disproportionately more women.
yeah, we're reaching broad
That's good.
audience. And then we have a variety of people on other smaller, in the hundreds on other venues. So Instagram is actually I think our next most popular one, and I think that has several hundred people. So that's kind of the social media. We're also orienting toward doing more meme-style images and to get more, to share those more through social media.
I guess my concern is one of the issues raised in the controversy last month is that
Mhm.
some, sorry, audio issues. Some fraction of our followers on Facebook, is it? Appear to be bots.
Yes. So not bots, but Facebook. Basically, people who click like on anything and not necessarily indicating like of intentional insights. So we were doing global promotion of our posts for our audience, including in Southeast Asia. It seems that in Southeast Asia, a lot of people work in click farms, which is people who click on anything that they come across. And that was just something that we had no idea about, but that's something that happens. And so we have stopped promoting to Southeast Asia and boosting posts to Southeast Asia. We're only promoting posts to people in developed countries, wealthy countries who wouldn't be able to make a living off being clots, like foot farmers, let's call them. Yep. Thank you for checking on that. Yeah, so we changed our boosting policy.
Did that cover everything for you, Donnie?
I guess. Wasn't Twitter? Didn't they say bring up something about Twitter? And like,
You what?
were there any issues with Twitter?
No, Twitter doesn't have click bots or anything like that. Cool. Yeah, no issues in Pinterest either. That's not the thing. But we didn't boost. We did not boost anything on Twitter or on Pinterest. That's not like a. We don't. Yeah, those aren't very good investments for boost. So cool. Other questions about social media or anything else?
Five Mississippi. Six Mississippi. Seven Mississippi.
What is your vision for intentional insights? What is your end vision? The grand.
Sure. My end vision is I would love if the result of our work with intentional insights would be for all the people that can be reached and encouraged to be more rational, to be made more rational to the extent that they can be, and to the extent that they can basically be aware that the only thing in life that they can manage, control, are their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and learn strategies to control their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and make decisions about their lives and public policy and their charitable giving and politics and community engagement, informed by strategies for managing their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors so that they have realistic beliefs, avoid false expectations, and deal with other people in a healthy manner that respects everyone. So that is the ultimate vision.
How many people?
How many people? What?
How many people do you want to reach with that?
I'd love to reach all the people in the world with that, but realistically, the shorter term would be to reach all English-speaking people. We're also starting to translate our articles into other languages. So, for example, we have just translated our fundamental article on effective giving, which is the 9 strategies for effective giving, into German. We are right now translating it into French and Arabic. So our goal would be to translate our articles into the major languages of the world and promote it to those audiences after we reach the English-speaking audience. So everyone on the globe who has internet access is basically who we would love to reach. Other questions?
I think we're good.
Maybe 5 Mississippi.
5 Mississippi.
Okay. And you're always welcome to ask me follow-up questions or ask follow-up questions of the board members. You can post questions in the board meeting event, or you can Facebook message me privately or any of the board members here privately if you have specific questions within their domains. And my email is gleb@intentionalinsights.org, and you can always reach out to me. And if I don't know the answer, I'll find out or direct you to the person who would be able to answer the question. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for participating in the open part of the board meeting, and really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yay. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you all.
See you later.
Bye, everyone.